Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Thanks for checking me out. So, I'm driving to work, another video, and wanted to thank you all my viewers. I have decided just to say I'm probably not going to talk. I say probably because I'm allowed to change my mind, but I'm probably not going to be talking about the Mandela Effect too much anymore because it's kind of mean for me to talk about it, and there is a lot of deep information about it. It has helped me to make videos out in a public forum about it to so I can mull it over in my own mind, basically. Not too much the comments, unfortunately, but it's been a great run, as it were. But I'm going to talk about spiritual subjects, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. I did have somebody that commented, which I had to say LOL. They said, hey, you're not a messenger of God. I find it's in the title, The Spiritual Scientist. So what this channel's been about is trying to blend spirituality and scientific principles together. So that was the initial thought. And finding that kind of a good blend. But the problem I have with a lot of religions is it's all about God, and it's not about man, like taking away the power of man, and basically it's for people within religions to debase people and take away their power. And that's my problem with a lot of religions. My problem with a lot of spirituality is that they take away God completely and just puts it on man. So I believe in the blending of the two in a healthy way. So just to say that out loud. So I don't believe that most religions are the people who are in charge of them are screwing up a lot. Hence a lot of these messages that I talked about in my last video. So anyway, I do want to allow myself to talk about one last Mandela Effect. So it's kind of like trolling the trolls, which I thought was hilarious. And that's one reason maybe you don't think that anything about this is hilarious, and maybe you think you're gonna think that this isn't hilarious at all. You're gonna think, and there's a police officer right next to me, so I don't want him to think I'm making a video. So anyway, what I was saying is you're not going to think that it's hilarious at all if you're really worried about things. If you don't trust in God, then you're really worried about everything all the time. And that was part of what I've been talking about, is trust, having faith. So anyway, the word atheist itself has changed, which I thought that was hilarious. And if you believe that this is a spiritual change that's happening, then it's hilarious if you believe that, and it has to be, right? So anyway, thought I'd say that a little bit, and that I just thought it was mean that I have to say, I'm not going to be saying at the beginning of my videos if you have mental health issues, because this should be allowed to people with mental health issues to watch my videos. And I've worked with mental health for many years. It's not a funny subject, and I believe there is a way out. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of people with these issues, and there is healthier ways of thinking. So I'm a proponent of healthier ways of thinking. And that's what meditation is. It's a healthier way of working, exercising your mind, and that's what I'm about. So anyway, for me to come out with Mandela Effect videos where I'm saying that if you have mental health issues, not to watch the video, that is an issue. So I'm not going to be doing that anymore, because it's not, if it's not helpful, it's hurtful. So that's it. So anyway, just was watching a long video and probably made me late to work. I read a lot of information every day, and I watch videos from other people, and it was really interesting about Bill Gates and the Bill Gates Foundation, Bill and Melinda, he put himself first, Gates Foundation, and it's very interesting. The thing about it is that it was a 20-minute video, and everything the person said was 100% correct. Could I find it again to post in the comments? Probably not. It's one of those things, you're rushing, you have it shows up, and then you can't find it. But anyway, make a long story short, Bill Gates wrote a book on environmental change. It's a $14 book, so for most of the planet, it's out of reach of them, so they can't actually purchase the book, which I thought is kind of ironic. So these billionaires making, books about helping poorer people, but they can't access the book. So that's kind of weird, where basically he waxed on poetically about fertilizer and concrete, and it's very boring. And basically what you're getting is people without their heart chakra open that are in charge. So the way that, the people who are really focused on accumulating wealth and power mostly are based in the first chakra, and that's about, wealth and power, and they don't have their hearts open, so they only can think from their first chakras, so they're only thinking about how to help other people. But like one of the things that Bill Gates says in his book is that he believes that instead of people being more vegan, which is something that I believe in, cutting down on meat, if not completely, is that they have to genetically modify cows so they don't emit as much methane, like to stop cows from farting as much. So if you really are a scholar and you know your stuff, there was a volcano that erupted last year, and during the first 5 minutes of the eruption, it had as much emissions for carbon, as much emissions that the whole history of mankind has done with the Industrial Revolution since then. So if you think about it, all this is kind of ludicrous from the beginning, and that the funny thing is that when you go to a greenhouse and you go and you watch videos about how they grow plants and everything, they actually have they have carbon dioxide, they pump it in there so the plants breathe it in. So, and in fact, plants are breathing in what's coming out of the tailpipe. It's making them healthier. So the whole thing is just kind of crazy, to begin with. So the only other thing that I would say, a higher dimensional, thing that I felt like saying, I don't have to say, but I felt like saying, and if you're following my channel, you would understand what I'm going to talk about, is that I came out a year ago and I said that it was, and I talked about the ratios, and maybe I'll delete the video. I don't know if it's helpful to talk about these things, but I said that people would be shifting, and these changes would happen. And I said that right now, I believe it was 8% or 11%, it was a mortality rate for the COVID. So yeah, I said the word COVID, maybe this will flag the video, I don't know. So anyway, it was 11% mortality, and that's what it was. That's what it was. it was about 11%. People don't have the memory. It's fine. I don't want you to have the memory either. I'm not trying to, bring it up for a negative thing, but there's been these shifts, just to point it out. I've been to protect, been to help for healing, a lot of things. So it's gone from that. And I said in that video, I said people are going to point fingers at the government for lockdowns, shutdowns, and things like that. They're going to blame everybody else. But what people don't understand is, what I'm saying is that when a shift, happens, the people who are dwelling in the first chakra are still in that old mindset, still mode. They don't, even though they'll have the numbers in front of them, the new shift, they're still reacting from the old one, you see. So the government and everything are basically, the people with the wealth and the power and everything are still reacting to the 8%, mortality rates and 11%, and it's almost not their fault, but it is. So, they're basically reacting as if that's why you see, the hospitals empty and people like, well, I thought there would be a full hospital. So I'm not trying to ruin it, this thing for anybody, and I'm not trying to pull the veil out or anything like that. I'm just trying to, point this out for, beneficial reason. And like, this is one of the reasons I'm not going to make any more Mandela Effect videos. I'm going to talk about spirituality in a general sense, because it's a little too shocking for a lot of people. But I did point it out that, you would see it go to a point, 0.1% mortality rate from 8% mortality rate. I said that it's going to go down and down and down and down and down, and that's going to be the shift. And that shifted and that happened, but yet, so that's what's going on. And I thought to point it out. Anyway, it's all good news. Millions, if not billions, of people's lives have been saved by these, shifts. People don't see the miracles happening, but I just thought I'd point out for the last time, and from now on I'm going to try to talk more about just spiritual topics in general. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. Bye-bye.